I worked with Tinubu in the past. He is no longer the leader I used to know, Usman Bugaje says. This Usman Bugaje has been very outspoken in the recent time, within the past 1 week. The guy has been speaking. So he's saying that he has worked with Tinubu in the past and it's no longer that Tinubu that he used to know. That means that something about him has changed. Is it changed for good or for bad? Bugaje need to let us know. So let's dive into the details to hear Bugaje's version of his story. A former member of the House of Reps, Usman Bugaje, has said that the President Bola Tinubu's problem-solving abilities are gone. Okay, so we can see exactly where it's coming from. So when he says the Tinubu he used to know that he worked with in the past is no longer the Tinubu he's seeing now, it means that something has changed from good to bad, or probably from bad to worse. He said the Tinubu he knows as a problem-solving individual has lost that ability, and that he's no longer that Tinubu that he used to know. Oh, wow. So that means that if at this time he is observing that his problem-solving capabilities or abilities are gone, then Nigeria being a very large entity with very mounted problems, I don't think he will be able to carry that load now. He's even old and looking unsteady. Okay, but let's dive again into the details and hear more from Usman Bugaje. Bugaje lamented that he had been disappointed by Tinubu's output since he took over power. Okay, the politician shared his reservations while speaking on China's television Politics Today. According to the former lawmaker, he worked with Tinubu in the past and expected more from him when he became president. Bugaje said, I worked with him. I was in the Action Congress and Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN, so I have the privilege of having to work with him, and I am honestly disappointed. Wow. Because I expected he is a person who I know that would always have a book around him reading. He would have always been able to engage, but all that magic has evaporated. I don't see it. So when asked if he thinks that the president has been demystified at the federal level, he replied, I don't know, we are still in the process, but certainly that magic, that idea of a person who can solve problems is not there anymore. Look at the bundle of problems that are there. I knew that he had talent that he could apply to solve problems. We are not able to solve any of our problems. Every Nigerian problem that you see every day, it gets worse, he argued. So he claimed that Tinubu is not in charge of his government. Oh boy, we know. So I can tell you one thing clearly. What we have seen is evidence of the fact that the president is not in charge. Someone else is in charge. Bugaje argued. So that is exactly what he has come to tell us. So that the Tinubu he's seeing today is not the Tinubu that he used to know. He worked with Tinubu in AC when he was Action Congress, and then he also worked with Tinubu when Action Congress AC transformed to Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN. And Tinubu was always seen with the books around him reading and had a problem-solving ability. Okay, that is somebody that can pull a trigger and make this happen. But since he became president, he has not seen all of those abilities being displayed by the president. Okay, and he's obviously not capable of doing those things anymore. It means that ability, that problem-solving ability or talent that Tinubu used to have has evaporated, has disappeared. Okay. And he's concluding it by saying that Nigerians have a lot of problems, and when you see the way Tinubu has made the decision since he entered power, you will know that he doesn't have that capabilities again or that talent again to solve problems, because rather than getting a problem solved, Nigerian problems is getting worse. The problem of every Nigerian today is getting worse by the day, and that is actually appalling, and that is very disappointing. So Bugaje is saying that he cannot reserve a disappointment. He is very, very disappointed on the Tinubu's output, and that has to do with his performance since he entered or since he became the president. Okay, all those capabilities are gone, and there's nothing exactly that the president can do. And he submitted again by saying that obviously Tinubu is not in charge of his cabinet. He's not in charge of his government. Okay, there's a cabal that is in charge of that government. And when you look at Tinubu, you know that he's tired, he's weak, okay, he's feeble. He does not have that ability again to run around and he doesn't have that force anymore. And that is why he's pulling all kinds of people around him to make that decision and to work for him. I tell you, Tinubu is there, but somebody like Femi Gbejabiamila might be making the best of decisions for the country. Okay, might be acting as president in proxy, even though we have a vice president, I tell you. So it is a very difficult situation that Nigeria has found itself. The question is, why is Tinubu struggling to be president? He just wants to be president or have his name registered as the president of Nigeria. So even if he leaves today, he's registered as the president of Nigeria, okay, and to be documented. That is exactly what he wants. Not that he really has anything to do for Nigeria. Because when you look at the decisions they're making, even the cabal that are actually supposed to be young people with sharp brain and talented to do the needful are also not doing it because their faces have been covered by corruption. That is how bad it is. That is terribly how bad it is. So to him, cabal, or to Usman Bugaje, which Nigerians are seeing anyway, is not only limited to Bugaje, that Nigeria is under the influence of a cabal. The president is not able to do anything. He's not in charge of his government. Cabal is in charge of that government. But who are those cabal? Already, somebody has said that is the APC tag, cabal in charge. Buhari's 8 years in power, he was not the person actually in charge. It was the cabal that is set up under Abakari that was in charge of the government. Okay, he went and brought everybody from his kindred, okay, from Daura in Katsina State to Abuja Sorok, to a point that even the cabal could not let Buhari's wife see him, okay, and the woman had to cry out. That was how bad it was during Buhari time. And that is repeating itself this time. And I'm sure Tinubu's wife is learning lessons. That is why anywhere the husband is, he's always there. Anywhere the husband is, she's always there to make sure she is by the husband. Why that? Only God knows. Probably she doesn't want what happened to Aisha Buhari to happen to her. What happened to Aisha Buhari to happen to her. So that is what Usman Bugaje is saying, that Tinubu is obviously not in charge of his cabinet. And we can all see clearly, actually, every time people are speaking on his behalf, every time, the same way Buhari was no longer coming to press. He was not coming, holding press conference. He was not speaking live on TV. We're always seeing recorded speeches. Even national address, he see recorded speeches. And I think that is obviously what is going to happen to Tinubu as well. Because what you see in Tinubu is that each time they write speech for himself, he will go there and say something else. That was how he mentioned that subsidies removed. Meanwhile, he was not part of the speech. That's how bad it is. I'm sure that old man will start experiencing dementia now. That is true, but they will be keeping him away. They will not expose him to where he will make speeches using his own brain, because definitely he will make mistake. All right, so thank you for listening. That is what Usman Bugaje is saying, and let's have a comment.